Hi everyone, it's Darlene. Welcome to my card for the Masculine Challenge for February. I decided to create 4 of these cards because I was going to cut the die with multiple cardstocks and I didn't want to waste any cardstock. So I went ahead and created all of these with all the pieces so that I wouldn't waste any. I'm going to show you how to create one of these, but they were all created the same way. I'm going to be using the Sunburst die by Stampin' Up. Simon Says Stamp has one that's similar, and I'll link to that one. I've got my favorite circles here, and then I'm also using this Paper Smooches Slang Gang set. It's got some really funny sentiments in it. It's kind of masculine too. So here are all the different colors I'm using, and I'm going to cut this Sunburst die out of each of them. The green is Simon Says Stamp Green Apple, and the blue is Surf Blue, also by Simon Says Stamp. This die is larger than a standard A2 card size, so I cut it out of the middle of a half of a sheet of cardstock so that I would be able to keep all the pieces together, and that's going to be important as I show you here. So now that I've got all of these together, I'm going to pull just one of the positives. I'm going to use the white one, and then I'm going to take the 3 negatives that are the other colors and put them up at the top here, and that's how I'm going to organize putting this thing together. So I'm going to alternate with these colors inside the white. First, though, I'm going to flip it over, and I need something for my pieces to stick to. So I'm going to take some surgical tape, and I'm going to place it on the back so that the sticky side is facing up toward the front of the card. And I'm just going to make sure that I get at least one piece on all of these different openings. And then I'll flip it over, and now I have something to place my pieces into. If you want to create these 4 cards without going insane, then it's going to be really important to stay organized with all these pieces and try to keep them together as much as you can. So I'm going to start by cutting one, and notice that I put it right back where I had it, and I'm cutting out just that one piece, and I'm keeping all the others intact as much as I can. And I'm cutting outside so that I have plenty of room to place the piece and not worry about the other ones getting loose all over my craft table. So I'm going to alternate. I've got black, now I'm going to do green. I'm just going to do them in the same order on my table, and I'm just going to cut them around the edge, which is the benefit of cutting this larger cardstock so that you have plenty of room to play around and keep all of the pieces together. So I'm going to fast forward this, and I'm just going to rotate through all these 3 colors until I get back to the start. As I was going along, you can see my green one started to get cut into multiple pieces, and that's fine. Just keep it all together in one location so that nothing gets lost. So once I get all the way around here, I'm pretty much done with the white one. So I'm going to move that off to the side, and I'm going to grab my next positive color, which is going to be blue. And then I'll take the blue negative, and I'm going to keep it all together. I'm going to move it off to the side, and I'll replace that with white. So now I'm rotating with the white color. Just as I did before, I'm going to flip this one over, and I will put some surgical tape on the other side with the sticky side facing up. And then I'm going to start putting my pieces in. You want to start with the color that has the most pieces taken away. So obviously green and black have the same number of pieces because I've only done one. I've done the white. So you can start with the black or the green. It really doesn't matter. So I'll go all the way around until I'm done. And now my blue is finished. And I'm going to put that one off to the side. I'll grab my next color, which is going to be black. And then I'll take my black negative and remove that from the area in a nice safe place and replace it with the blue negative. So then I'm going to flip over again, put my surgical tape on, and I'm going to start, I should actually start with the green because that's the one that has the least number of pieces left. I started with blue, but I was kind of eyeballing the green as I did that, and it wasn't until after that I realized that the rule really needs to be start with the color that has the least number of pieces. That way you make sure you don't double up on anything. All right, so I'll go all the way around the circle, and now I'm done with my black. And I've just got my final one left, which is green. You can see I've got no inserts left of the green because I've used them already, and now I'm going to use the positive of the green, and I won't need to put any inserts in. So here's my green, and now I've got some white, I've got some blue, and I've got my black that I'm going to bring back here, and now I've got the exact pieces needed to finish out this green one. So I picked these colors because I thought it would make it more masculine looking with the green and the blues, and also I think the black makes it more masculine as well. So I have all my panels finished, and remember these are larger than a standard A2 card size. I haven't wasted any pieces, so I'm going to move on and finish up just one of these on camera, but I have photos of all the finished ones on my site. So I'm going to take my magnetic platform and take this stitch circle die, and I'm going to center it right there where the sun would be. And I'm going to run that through my Big Shot. I'm also going to take a piece of black cardstock. I'm using Stampin' Up! Black, and I'm going to cut a piece out of that as well with the same circle. And this will allow me to insert the circle as an inlay, and I get stitching on the outside and on the inside. This panel is pretty flimsy because it's really only held together by these surgical tape pieces. So I'm going to actually place my card base to the panel rather than vice versa. I put the adhesive on the panel here, but what I found later in other versions of this is that it's better to put the adhesive on the card base and lay it on top. You can see how much larger this is than a standard A2 card size. I put my card base as close as I could to the lower right hand corner. So I'm just going to flip this over and I'll cut the excess off. I'm using my big craft scissors just because it's easier with a large pair of scissors. And I'm just using the card as a guide. And then here's the finished front. Now it's time to put my sentiment on my circle. I'm using an embossing buddy. It's just a powdery residue that you could put on your cardstock to make sure that the embossing powder doesn't stick where it doesn't need to be. And then I'm going to ink this up with some Versamark ink. I'm going to put some white embossing powder on it and heat it to set it. I use these sentiments because I think they're more masculine-like, and they were so cute and funny too. Actually, they're good for 10-year-old girls as well. Anyway, so I'm going to heat this up, and now that's finished. I'm going to put some tape runner on the back and center it right there in the middle of the circle. For the inside of the card, I decided to use this word happy because it's not very scripty. It's more of a block form, and that's kind of more masculine to me. And so I put, really I was supposed to cover the word the, so it should be happy best day ever, not happy the best day ever. And I realized I did that, and I thought, oh man. So I'm going to stamp the happy again. This is just an extra piece from the cardstock I used to cut the die. Now I'm going to mask that the and just ink up the best day ever. And then I'll trim that and adhere it to a slightly larger piece of the surf blue that I used on the front. So I have a little, probably like somewhere between 1/16 and 1/8 of an inch at the top and bottom. And then I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of that and put it right over where I stamped before. Probably the recipient wouldn't even realize that the word the shouldn't be there, but you know, I just didn't want it to be there. And plus it added a little bit more interest to the inside of the card. So anyway, that is the card or the cards for today. I'm going to run through some photos of the other ones before I leave you. But I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you'll enter the challenge this month, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with. Thanks for watching.